Hey everybody, welcome to our final video in the Encanto series where we are walking through the movie Encanto and we are talking through some mental health themes, some different just things, different commentary. You basically get to hear me chat about Encanto, and if you're like me, you love this movie and could watch it a million times and you want to talk about it, and so you get to hear me talk about it, and I would love to hear you talk about it in the comments, or if you have reactions or videos on your channel, let me know and we can talk about it together. So all right, so this is video 4. My name is Veronica Malia and I am a mental health counseling student, and so I'm in grad school to be a mental health counselor, and so a lot of the themes in this movie have stood out and I've been wanting to talk about them, and so I've been thinking about starting a YouTube channel for years about different things, and one of them being mental health. And so I thought this would be a great opportunity while I have all of this like at the tip of my tongue to be able to kind of put this out to the world and start this channel about mental health. So if mental and emotional health is something that interests you, like, subscribe, and stay connected, and we will build a beautiful community together and be healthier for it. So, all right, here we go. We are at the part where the casita just collapsed and Mirabel just went away. She went through the cracked mountain and is now, everybody's looking for her. So that's where we are. If you haven't seen the other videos, feel free to pick back up. Those little kids love her. Oh, I love this. Like, Dolores is like, I can't hear her. Her head's got to be quiet. I can imagine there's part of Dolores that's like, I kind of like this, not hearing all the things. And this is a part, okay, I want to say this before, because once this scene starts, it is like, the whole rest of the movie is just like, I don't know if I'll cry though, because I've watched it many times and I've cried through it so many times, and now I'm talking through it, so maybe I won't cry, but we'll see. I've cried every other time. Yeah, I wish they would have put a teeny tiny bit of like, Casita, because Casita was like her best friend, and Casita's now dead, so that sucks.
Right.
Ugh, the turning away is such a sign of shame, but like so much maturity right there in turning right around, and I'm sorry, owning her part, or what she thinks is her part, and owning that desire to be more than she is, which I wonder where that pressure came from.
I've never been able to come back here. This river.
And this is where Abuela turns. She becomes vulnerable. Mirabel holds space. She's held space for so many people in this movie, and she holds space and stays in the grief with Abuela. She doesn't try to bounce out of it. She doesn't try to make it funny. She enters in with her. Oh, that line. I thought I would be a different woman. How many of you have gone through really hard things, like you thought you would be a different person at certain points of your life, and it's like when you go through hard stuff, it can change you, and it does change you, sometimes for the better and sometimes for the worse. Oh, I love this. They're just so cute, so young. And this song, okay, let me pause it. So I grew up in Spain from age 2 to 5. So while my Spanish, and we're Puerto Rican, but I'm 3rd generation, and so knowing Spanish has never been a huge priority of mine, I'll say, but I know enough. So like when this started, like those I have a hard time saying the word oruguitas, the 2 little caterpillars, and then like the words of this song are so beautiful, and I couldn't understand all of them, but like I could understand enough of them. I mean, I've seen people that don't know Spanish at all bawling through this song, so I know it's not just because I understand the words, but this whole segment is so beautiful, like talking about how they're in love, and then like my understanding of the song, and it's not a direct translation because it's just, again, my Spanish is not great, but it's like these 2 caterpillars that are in love, and they like hunger and like find shelter with each other, and then they have to like grow apart to grow, because that's what, you know, to make their little cocoons, and then they have to become butterflies. But this whole first part, oh, okay, see if we can get through this. Just the love and the simplicity of their love is so precious. Triplets! I legit would faint. Okay, so can we just, those newborns are newborns. They're so tiny. Ugh. And having to leave their home because of the violence to keep their family and their town safe, like all this. There's so much history in Colombia around this that I'm not gonna pretend to know. No se aguanten más is don't hold on, and it's like, he's not holding on, he's sacrificing himself. And like to make your I love how they animated the ugly cry, which I hate that phrase, but like the pain in the beginning of the movie, we see like this pretty version of this, and here you see like the agony in her experience to watch her husband killed and to be left with 3 newborns. If you've ever had a baby, like 1 is a lot, 3 alone and being looked at as the leader of a community, like the pressure that she felt. I have thought as she's sitting there alone in her house, it's this beautiful house that like this miracle created, but she's alone. Like, she is now like feeling all this weight and responsibility, and she has 3 babies. Like, if you've ever had 1 baby, you know how hard it is like in that newborn phase, and she has 3 by herself. Like, all of this was just like so much. And so I've heard some people say like there's no villain in this movie, and I'm like, the villain is the people that destroyed their house because they totally like created this situation where all these horrible things happen, and you know, beautiful things because of the miracle. But like yeah, 3, like raising 3 newborns alone, and just the pressure to lead the community, the pressure to be everything that everybody needed, like, and then she passed that along, which, you know, it's easy to hate on Abuela, and yes, she handled it very poorly, but man, they did such a good job of like creating compassion and like realizing. Okay, I made a couple of notes the other day when I was thinking about Abuela, because she kept coming to mind, because I'm like, people, like, I've gone through some hard stuff, and you become afraid of like losing the gifts that you get through the hard, and like it's just a weird dynamic of not letting like hard times define you, and not letting you can just easily make up some like inner dialogue that is not healthy if you aren't careful and don't have healthy community. And it doesn't really sound like Abuela had anybody. Like, she didn't have people that she talked to or processed anything with. Like, it was basically like her and then the family, but she's the leader of the family, and she was it seemed like a very lonely place. And we see her like, you know, talking to Abuelo Pedro, but like, you know, that's not the same as talking to a person. And so here, like, she needed somebody in her life to help point out the patterns that are not working in her life. And Mirabel became that, which she has become for every person. Like, I forgot to point out, in Isabella's story, she had a line in there. Okay, so in Isabella's song, I mentioned before, like, Abuela's lyric was in the first video. And then in Isabella's song, in the third video, it is what I think is Mirabel's lyric line. And hers is, Isabel says to Mirabel, "The way is clear because you're here." And like, if you think about who Mirabel is to all of the characters, like Antonio, he not only gets her like compassion and comfort under the bed, but like then she literally walks him to his door, and like the way is clear. Emotionally, like, she gives him strength. And then you've got Luisa, and you've got, I mean, hers, like, she opens up to Mirabel and she's able to see that. And then Isabella, she like helps her to find her, like, to be an encourager and to open up her gifts. And then now we have Mirabel here with Abuela, and again, like, she sat with her in her grief and she encouraged her to share, and the way is clear because she's there. Okay, back to the movie. Yeah, so here we see like the things that served her to survive aren't serving her anymore, and that is such a theme of trauma. We develop coping mechanisms to survive, but if we don't grow through it, then it will turn around and be destructive to those, for us and for those around us. And I love how like she owns it, like she owns her part in that. And I think her fully owning what she did gives Mirabel the freedom here to call out her strength, which, this is such a beautiful part. She still has that ring on, that compassion, that empathy. She's seeing her like for who she is, and her strength, and her, she's calling out her goodness like she does with everybody. Oh, she finally sees her. Okay. mariposa. So it started out orgullitos, which is caterpillars, and this part is butterflies. I bawled through like the first many times I saw this song, so I'm surprised that I know it. It's so good. I love all the butterflies. And then they give us some relief. They're like, okay, a little comic relief. That horse is not even bothered. Oh, it's been 10 years since he saw her son. She's like, I don't even care. The 180 in Grandma here has been very hard for many people to swallow because it's such a 180. But it's an animated film and it's an ideal situation, so we can... I love this because I'm like, Grandma's like not young and she's like riding that horse like it's nothing. Go, Grandma. She's like, I need your coffee cup. Again, go, Grandma, for riding that horse like that. Oh, Casita. Again, here, I would have loved it. Just a glimmer of grief over her best friend dying. Oh, the relief of Mama.
We don't have a house.
I'm like, come on, Baba. You don't have to turn it on yourself. She brings perspective and hope to her family. I love it. Help me understand this whole idea of the stars don't shine, they burn. I mean, it sounds pretty, but like, what do y'all think it means? Have you? I love that. She's like, we can do it together. Oh, Luisa needed to hear that so bad. Again, apologies continue. Owning the fear. I love Julieta's face here. That line. And her saying it, not some gift, just you. Again, comic relief. Let's hear the rap. This, I love, he's like, be free with your gift. And Felix is like, yeah. Oh, they love and accept him. I love Camilo's expression there, like, why are you hitting me? Oh my gosh, this part, the first time I watched it, literally like had me like sobbing. Okay, so this part, so I'm in grad school, like I mentioned, and it was like after some really hard life circumstances that changed life a little bit, a lot of it, completely changed life. And so then I started going to grad school, and one of the things was I didn't know how I was going to pay for grad school. And so I got some scholarships, which I was just so grateful for. And then I had this idea that I would like put out like a GoFundMe, maybe like a couple semesters to see, I don't know if I could get some people to help me, which is, you know, it's nobody's responsibility, but I just thought, and even like while I was going through the really hard life situation, like I had so many people in my community like come around me. And so when this part played, it was like, it so brought up all those feelings of gratitude and like seeing people show up that don't have to show up, you know, and like seeing them, like having them walk with you in the rebuilding of something. Yeah. So this part, it was like, like I was literally like holding back, like sobbing, which I don't think most people respond to this part as strongly, but it brought up like so much gratitude in me for times when my community has come around me and has like been such a great support. And I remember one of my friends like early on in everything saying like, you have loved us well, like let us love you well. And I think that like this is the town, like the Madrigal family has loved the town well, and like they have given and given and given, and now the town's like, lay down your load. Like even that line was just like, oh. And in the Disney Plus subtitles, it says I don't know why, but it says roll me down, like roll me down the road. But in the Amazon like lyrics translation, it says we are only down the road, which I think that is the actual translation. And I just love that. Lay down your load. We're only down the road. We have no gifts, but we are many. And like they bring themselves and they show up, and like, oh, the beauty of that is so like, you don't need magical powers to show up for people in your life. You just show up and like be part of the community. Okay. I love this part. We're only down the road. We have no gifts, but we are many, and we'll do anything for you. Better together, working together, owning our feelings. So do I. And they're doing it together. I love it. I love Camilo here dropping this shovel. Oh, again, this house is so gorgeous. And the butterflies back. Hernando. Or was that Jorge? I don't remember. Even this line I love, because I can relate to this feeling. Just have so much love inside. She's like, you know, I got this cousin. I love Dolores here. She's like, I got it. This part, I'm like, ooh, enmeshment, like we talked about in the other video. Let's get married. Red flag. Slow down. Yeah, FYI, if somebody talks about marriage that quickly, that is a red flag. This part, it isn't perfect. So I love that they added that, and she might be kidding because she kind of bumps her. So she might be kidding, but I love that they added that, like, it isn't perfect. And then you have immediately Mirabel like, but neither are we. And it's like, it's almost like I would have like testing that, like, are we gonna go back to our old dynamic? And Mirabel's like, no, we're not. We are not doing that toxic again. Nope, we're done with that. So neither are we. That's true. Like, oh man, this is another part that had me like boo-hooing. Antonio, her little buddy. We made this one for you. So cute. And here they see her, like they finally see her. And the harmonies, oh, they're so beautiful. So brave. And they, who have always seen her like for her beauty and her gifts and accepted her. Like, you are the gift. You don't need a gift. She gets to see herself for who she is and the beauty of who she is and the fullness of who she is without a miracle. Oh, and I love that so much. Just that, like, the identity work, the acceptance, and of course, yay, the magic is back. Which hopefully that will translate into us seeing more of Encanto, whether that means like some Disney Plus series, another movie. Can't see that. And this, I would have loved to see her way more happy than this. It's cute because it mirrors the mom at the beginning, or Abuela at the beginning. But it's like, oh man, that's like her BFF. Yay, the music is back. Oh my gosh, this movie is so good. Look at that dress, it's so fun. She got her strength back. More fireworks. I love that. Okay, I'll pause this real quick because I love that, number one, Isabella's like, I'm gonna do the fun dress, and she like is free to do what she loves, or like experiment and just try new art. I love that Luisa's here. They like make her relax and rest a little bit. Like, look, we got this. We are all, and then you see the hail come in, and I love this for Pippa so much. Like, she gets to have a cloud and nobody's telling her to stop, and they're dancing in the hail. I'm like, yes! I love that so much. And of course, the family picture. And I love how messy they made this picture. Like, everybody getting squished together and people looking different ways and different directions. And and it finishes out with more amazing music. So good. Okay, I don't want it to end. There is a version of the Oruguitas in the credits. I don't love the English version. It's good. I don't know. Do you guys like the English version as much as the Spanish version? And I guess my question is, because I feel like the message of it is different. In the English version, well, in the Spanish version, the part that's repeated and gets to that crescendo is like, talks about the miracle. And like, then the miracle is Mirabella. So it has this like beautiful significance. And then you've got, I don't know, I feel like the imagery is different. It's not my favorite. It's good, but like the Spanish version I think is so much better. Even though I don't understand all of it, I understand enough of it that it's like, this is so good. So that, we walked through it, 4 videos. I wasn't sure how many it would take. I was like, we'll just take it piece by piece, and it might take a lot of videos. But if you haven't seen the other videos, go back and watch. Let me know what you think. Tell me your favorite parts, your favorite characters, your favorite lines, what you would have loved to have seen. I just wanted to chat more about Encanto. So thanks for hanging out, and thanks for watching. And if you want to stay connected more about mental health and just all things mental health, subscribe to this channel. And yeah, we're just going to build a community around authenticity and mental health and growth together. And yeah, it started with Encanto, which I couldn't love more. So y'all take care, and I'll see you soon.